Welcome, family. So this is a halter neck design. So this is what we'll be learning how to make in this my video tutorial. Stay tuned and enjoy the video tutorial. Thank you all for clicking on my channel to watch. Feel free to ask questions. Now let's move to the cutting table. So we'll be needing the fabric, that is the Duchess, the hard nets, crinoline, and lining. My lining wasn't here when I was shooting the video. Those are the things we will be using to make the ball dress. So the first thing is for us to get the measurements of the child. Of course, we have the half length, we will have the gown length, we have the waist, we have the chest. So we'll be getting the gown length, which is 26, and then the half length, which is 11, as you can see me writing here. So the gown length is 26, the half length is 11. You'll be subtracting it to get 15. So 15 inches is going to be the length of the flare. That's aside. Then the waist is 23. We're multiplying it by 3 so that the gathers will be full. Multiplying it by 3 gives us 69. So we're going to divide that 69 by 6.28. 69 divided by 6.28, and the result is 10.98. So we approximated it to 11 inches, which I have written. So now that 11 inches, will be multiplying it to the length of the flare that we need to give us a round figure. That is 11 plus 15. Length of flare plus length of plus the circumference of the waist. That is 26. 11 plus 15. So you'll be using your fabric when you want to cut outfits like this for children, or when you're managing a material. It's always best you cut the flare first so that whatever you use, how do that the remaining you'll be able to maneuver it to get the other parts. So this is my flare. 26 is what I need. 26 as a square, so 26 in 4 different places. Please take note of the folding now. 26, then I'm folding it together. Can you see? So it's going to be 26, 26 in on 226 on fold, that is 52. I think 26 or 26 is 52 now. Then you fold the fourth time. So the aim is for you to get a square. Aim is for you to get a square in which all areas will be 26, 26, 26 all through. That's what I'm trying to arrange here. Once you want to get a perfect flare, make sure you have a square. And this method, you'll be able to manage your material well. Can you see? 26 is what I have. 26 all through. So after getting 26 all through, remember 15 inches is the length of the flare. Then 11 inches is the length of the circumference. So we're going to be doing 11 inches, marking 11 inches from the apex. That sharp point is called the apex. The middle is called the apex. So we'll get 11 inches all through. And please, while marking, you make sure your markings are correct. 11 inches, 11 inches, can you see? 11 inches all through. Don't try to do like you know too much, then giving it so much gap. Once you give it so much gap, you might end up not having it correctly. It might end up not being 11 in all equal parts. All the circle, one might be 10, one might be 10 and a half, and it will affect the measurements. You see? So the next part now, this 11 is what we'll be cutting off. Then the next thing we want to get now is the length of the flare, which is 15. 15. So please take note of where I'm marking the 15. See the chalk. So do not make a mistake, please. Once you are even done marking it, there is nothing wrong in cross-checking. You cross-check what you are doing so that there won't be errors or an error. Be marking it in total, because it is this markings that is very essential. The markings is very essential. Mind you, 2 yards of material can be used to achieve this style. But if a client gives you 1.5, you cannot use 1.5 to achieve this. You cannot use 1.5 to achieve this because it will not be it will not be enough. 1.5 will not be enough. Remember, it is 26, that is 52. Once you if you happen to use 1.5, it's only going to be for the flare. For you to get the up, the bodies, the bow, the all those other things, to be serious manage. So once you have a client gives you this kind of style, just tell them 2 yards. 2 yards to give you a perfect result. 2 yards to give you a perfect result. So I'm trying to cut since the markings are correct, I cross check them. I want to cut off the parts I don't need now. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I'll also love it if you can give me a feedback after watching this video. If there is any questions as well, please don't forget to do that. Now you'll be slitting just one part. As you see me do one part, and that's because of the zipper allowance. So here we are. Can you see how full it is? So I'm going to be turning it with my lining. And crinoline. Can you see? Now for some persons, you could decide to use only crinoline without lining for this part, so that the lining is just going to be on the hard net alone. It's optional. It's optional. Now, my next is my body. The baby's half length is 12 inches, is 11 inches. So I'll be marking 12 inches, as you can see. I'm using paper because it's alter neck. It's alter neck, so that I will be able to understand what I want to alter and alterate, and then so that my material is going to be able to help me to manage my material perfectly. It is alter neck. Can you see? So this one is just the normal protocols of things to do. You're marking the what you need for the bodies. Then we're going to do the usual. So this tutorial is beginner friendly. I'm starting from the scratch from this tutorial. So that is why I'm going to go ahead to mark a basic bodies first, which involves the neck, the armhole, the normal measurements before we alterate it. I'm not going to chalk the basic bodies, the neck and the armhole before starting. I'm starting everything in total here for beginners. So if you are still a beginner, it will be very easy for you to achieve this style, because you're going to be watching me starting from the neckline, starting from the armhole, and then before alterating it to the principle, to the alter neck itself. So it's beginner friendly and so easy. Just continue watching. I've marked 7 inches for the bodies, for the back, 7 inches for the front. Remember, this is single, and once you are doing it on the cloth, it's going to be on fold. Please don't forget that. Now I'm also marking out that zipper allowance. This is the zipper allowance. So for standard for children is usually 2 by 2, depending on the age. That is if you don't want the neck to be too low. And of course, this neck is not going to be too low because it is going to have a turtleneck. It's going to have a turtleneck. Then the armhole, I'm marking it as well. I used I think I used 6 inches. I used 6 inches because I'll be giving the shoulder slope half an inch, and then we'll be left with 5.5 inches, so that the armhole is not going to be too tight or too big for the child. So this is what I'm using, or this is what I used. So this neck will not be too opened for the child. But once the style requires a neck opening so much, 2 by 2 is not going to work. You have to make it 2 by 3, 2 by 4, or whatever. Remember, the age of the child and the size of the child also determines what you'll be working with. Now, I'm not going to put that on this bodice because children's clothes do not necessarily need a that. Children's clothes don't necessarily need that. That's are stylants that are used to bring fittings on outfits, to bring shapes in outfits. And a child that is not yet busty, in fact, most times this child, their waist is usually bigger than their chest. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not trying to make sure their bust is going to fit. So we wouldn't be needing a dat for a child's outfit. So there is no dat on this baby's outfit. So this is the basic. This is the basic. I hope people are following, and I hope people get it from this place. So this is where we want to start moving on to the serious parts. So since the neck is already 2 by 2, and then the armhole, we've drafted it correctly, all you just have to do is connect from the neckline to the armhole. Connect from the neckline to the armhole region. And that's all that we'll be doing. Connecting from the neckline to the armhole region. I don't want the alter neck to alter too much, like to enter too much. I don't want it to enter too much. So note, we don't need the shoulder anymore. Remember, there's no shoulder joining. There's no shoulder joining. And some people can do their alter neck to be sharp. And then some people can make it curvy. Some people can make it curvy. So it's from this arrow of the armhole to the arrow of the neckline that I'm doing. This part is if you want it sharp. But now I want it to have a little bit of curve. So see what I'm doing. Can you see? So simple. So simple. In fact, from the paper, the result is already out. So you do the same thing for the back. Can you see? It's so simple. So the front is halter, the back is halter. This is how you get it if the front and the back is going to be halter. So your connection is just going to be through turtleneck. But for this one, I want the back low. I want the back low. That is only the front that will be halter neck. But the baby's back is going to be low. So since the result from the halter neck is 5 inches, I wouldn't be making it 5, 5. If it is 5 from the left and 5 from the right, it will be straight. So I'm going to make one part to come down like 7 inches, so it will have a little bit curve. I hope you are following what I'm doing, please. Can you see what I'm doing here? So the back of this outfit doesn't have halter neck. It's just the front. So looking at it now, while it's after shaping it, can you see how it's going to be? That was why I folded the paper. So this is what we will be having. This is me cross-checking the little child's measurements. And then I was blending it. So that's all. That's all. Please, if you have any question, drop it in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe. So I'm just going to be cutting it off now with my paper with my scissors. Then once I'm done cutting it, I'll place it on the outfit too and cut it on the outfit. There's really nothing serious about this once you can get this the basic, and it's actually beginner friendly. I believe you we're able to see that it's also beginner friendly. So I'm placing it on my cloth now to cut the fabric. Then the next is for us to cut the lining after cutting the fabric, then to continue sewing. So I want to label it back and front. This is the back and this is the front. So I'm trying to manage the material. That's why you see me doing all these arithmetics. Trying to manage the material. So these are some of the advantages of using paper. Once you've drafted with your paper, you can easily maneuver and manage your fabric. Can really easily maneuver and manage your fabric. So that's what I was doing here. So this is the part 1. We'll be showing the part 2 on the sewing. I believe you understood the video very well. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said earlier, don't forget to give my video a thumbs up. Thank you. Love you. Bye, y'all. Mwah.